Hey guys, I'm Kevin Kemp with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. We just got back from an amazing trip camping, fishing, and boating at Fort DeSoto Park in Pinellas County, Florida, on the mouth of the Tampa Bay. We had an amazing time. Check out the video. So we had an amazing time at Fort DeSoto Park, and I want to thank the Atchison family for inviting us along. They had an extra campsite that they weren't going to use and asked us if we'd like to join them, and we had an amazing time. The Atchison family owns and manages 4 Ace Hardwares here in the Riverview, Florida area. There's 1 in Lithia, 2 in Riverview, and 1 in Sun City, as well as a feed store in Lithia. So definitely check out the Ace Hardwares around. You can go to crossroadsace.com for information on location. And I get a lot of my camp supplies from Ace Hardware. So whether I need propane, either the little 1-pound cylinders or to fill my big propane grill tanks, or just extra tent stakes, or a variety of things. They have thermocells. And they even have live bait. You can buy live crickets and things for freshwater fishing. Check out Ace Hardware. So thanks, Atchison family, for allowing us to join you. We had a great time. So Fort DeSoto is an amazing park. It's a county park owned by Pinellas County. So it's not part of the state park system. You hear a lot of people call it Fort DeSoto State Park, but it isn't a state park. So it was open for camping even though the state parks are closed. So we were able to go for a couple of days. We took pontoon fish, we took our boat, and of course the tents, and we loaded up the Kemp bus and went off to Fort DeSoto for some beautiful days. We had beautiful weather, nice sunny days. It did get a little warm in the afternoon, but the mornings were beautiful and the nights cooled off, making tent camping easy. So May is about the last month I like to tent camp in Florida. After that, it gets a little too warm for me. But we had an amazing time. And so I shot this video to kind of show you the highlights of the park, whether it's the old fort itself with some of the original guns, to the dog beach, to North and East Beach, the fishing piers, the boat ramps, and the picnic pavilions and playgrounds and that kind of thing. So that's what this video is about. Also, down in the comments, I'll give you a link to the video we're going to shoot on the campsite amenities. Once I get that posted, there will be a link there. And then also down in the description, there will be a link to our playlist for our campsite videos. So while we were there, we shot I think it was 183 out of the 238 campsites available. So we're going to have 183 campsite review videos to produce for Fort DeSoto. So it's going to take me a while to get those. I'm probably going to release them in batches of like 3 to 5. So that's going to take me a long time to get those out. But I will get them out so that you can check out videos of each campsite we shot. We only shoot campsites that are empty. We don't invade the privacy of people that are out camping. So, but Fort DeSoto was dead because of coronavirus. There were hardly anybody there. So there were only 55 occupied campsites while we were there, which is pretty incredible. So we're going to post all those videos. So links to that will be down in the description once we get that done. So without further ado, check out the amenities at Fort DeSoto Park. Fort DeSoto is located at the southern tip of Pinellas County at the mouth of Tampa Bay. Starting with the fort, it's an amazing place to see, and it was active in the early 1900s. The fort is located at the southwest tip of the island. You can see the original fort structure, including some of the gun emplacements and the original guns, and the area where they would store ammunition and other items that the Army would use. There was a guide there who gave some information about how they loaded the guns and fired the guns, which was very interesting. And typically there's a volunteer there every Saturday. We were able to go into the storage rooms where they would store the gunpowder and the shells and the various things that they would need to operate the fort. The fort is registered as a National Historic Place, and it's really interesting to note that the guns that are there are the original guns. The Army misplaced them, which is why they're still there today. You can also view the fort from the top, where I shot this video, which gives an amazing view of the Gulf of Mexico, Tampa Bay, and one of the fishing piers at Fort DeSoto. There's a nice walkway across the top, and you can even look down into one of the gun batteries. One of the gun batteries was being worked on while we were there. It looked like they were painting the guns in order to continue to preserve them. The view from the top of the fort is really an amazing view, and it's one I highly recommend you see if you stop at Fort DeSoto. The day we were there, the weather was beautiful, and the seas were really calm. At Fort DeSoto, by the fort itself, there's also a large picnic pavilion, which is great for large group gatherings, complete with grills, although they were closed because of coronavirus while we were there. Near the fort is the Gulf Pier. The Gulf Pier is 1,000 feet long and gives plenty of room for fishing for a variety of saltwater species. While we were there, folks were catching mangrove snapper and Spanish mackerel. Here's a view, a pan of the pier from standing near the beach. You do not require a fishing license to fish from the pier, at least at the time of the making of this video. And here's another pan from farther out on the pier. Like I said, the pier is 1,000 feet long, and the shack at the beginning of the pier offers bait and snacks and souvenirs for sale. The boat ramp at Fort DeSoto is absolutely huge, and it needs to be. It gets a lot of traffic on the weekends. It's located near the park entrance towards the north of the park. It's where you can pick up the Shell Key ferry if you're interested in heading off to Shell Key. Shell Key is an island preserve that you can't get to by car. You can only go by boat or ferry. And that's the Tampa Bay ferry and taxi that takes you to Shell Key. The boat ramp at Fort DeSoto is huge, and so is the parking lot. It has ample parking, which is excellent, and also has overflow parking, though it's a little bit of a walk from the ramp. The ramp itself has many, many slots for launching boats with a very nice dock. The Saturday that we were there was a very busy day. This was taken on one of the lighter days. And the staff had 4 or 5 staff members organizing traffic to make launching quick and easy. The staff did an excellent job of handling the flow of traffic and making sure that people were safe and efficient in launching their boats. If you go on a weekday, it's much less busy. Also at the boat ramp are a large number of picnic tables that you can use for picnics or barbecues. It's a great opportunity to get together with family and friends for a nice day on the water. The campground at Fort DeSoto is also an amazing place to stay. It's located just south of the boat ramp on the main entrance road. There are 238 sites at Fort DeSoto, and we'll be covering the campsite in a future video. The Bay Pier is a neat place to visit at Fort DeSoto. It is just to the west of the main entrance road, and it's where you can pick up the Egmont Key ferry. The Egmont Key ferry takes you to Egmont Key, which is a national wildlife refuge, and you can only get there by boat. The Bay Pier also has a shack that sells drinks and I think snacks and bait, but it was closed when we were there. The Bay Pier is 500 feet long and offers plenty of room to fish, and it ends in a T, which is nice. Again, when we were there, people were catching mangrove snapper and Spanish mackerel. It was an absolutely beautiful day when we were there. It's also a great place to view the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, which you can see in the distance. Here's a pan video of the Bayside Pier near the beach. If you look west from the pier, you'll see the Dog Beach, which we'll cover in a minute. So at the Bay Pier, using the same parking lot, is the dog park and dog beach. They're separated into two pens, one for large dogs and one for small dogs. The large dog pen is absolutely huge, and it's shaped in an L that goes around the small dog pen. The small dog pen is quite large as well. There are plenty of trees and benches to sit on for shade. There were several dogs at the dog park while we were there, and they got to play together, which was fun to watch. Someone brought a ball, which the dogs all chased and had a good time. I got distracted when panning for this video and had to follow the dogs for a few minutes. That tree line there, if you can't see, is where the fence for the dog park ends. It's an absolutely massive dog park, which is great if we have a lot of dogs in there. There's also a washdown station for your dog and plenty of bowls for water. The dog beach is right next to the dog park and is a great place to go with your dog. It's the only beach that dogs are allowed on at Fort DeSoto, and they can go without a leash if they respond to verbal commands. It's a great place to go swimming with your dog or to let your dog swim. There are plenty of people there throwing balls in the water for their dogs to chase after. And as you can see in these videos, our dog Ellie, our wire-haired pointing Griffon, had a blast visiting the people and the other dogs. There she is running around, doing her thing. And we had a great time. This is probably my favorite spot at Fort DeSoto because it's something that you can do with your dog. And she made a friend with a yellow lab that I absolutely fell in love with and wanted to take home, but the owners wouldn't let me. Maybe there'll be a yellow lab in the future of the Kemp family. If you have a dog, I highly recommend taking it to the dog park and the dog beach. So Arrowhead Picnic Area is another spot on Fort DeSoto that's very nice. It's up near North Beach on the north end of the park. There are plenty of spots with picnic tables and grills, although the grills were closed while we were there due to coronavirus. And it has benches along the water and a great view of the bay. It's a quite large area with lots of parking, and it's very dispersed. There's a little swing set there. There's also restrooms located there and water spigots for fresh water. And located inside this area is a self-guided nature trail, which is a fun place to walk. So East Beach is one of the two main beaches at Fort DeSoto, and it does not allow dogs on the beach. It has a beautiful beach with a view of the Tampa Bay and the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. When we were there, it was nice and calm. There were plenty of people swimming and fishing and walking along the beach. It's not as busy as North Beach, so it's a good option if you're there on busy days. The man fishing there told me that he had caught several snook while there fishing with live shrimp. In addition to the beach, there's an area for buying snacks, and then several picnic pavilions like that with grills and some playground equipment. Fort DeSoto has a lot of playground equipment, but it was unfortunately closed due to coronavirus while we were there. So if you keep moving east from East Beach, you'll come to the end of the eastern peninsula at Fort DeSoto. And here's a panning video of that area. It's a great place to go wade fishing or to launch kayaks and just take in the mouth of the Tampa Bay, the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in the background, and the ships that are coming in from the Gulf. We see a lot of people catching fish here. So North Beach is probably the most popular beach in the park, and it's quite large with many, many picnic pavilions and lots of parking. It has some amazing playgrounds, which again were closed, and plenty of picnic tables and grills and places to gather both large and small groups. So hopefully once coronavirus is over, people will be able to do that. It also has a snack shop where you can buy ice cream and snacks and food and drinks and those kinds of things. And then here's a video of the beach. North Beach is massive, so it would be hard to cover it all. You can walk on this beach for miles. We intended to stay there to watch the sunset, but as you can see, a storm was moving south from the north, and so we had to leave before sunset was over. But it is an absolutely beautiful beach. And there's the final shot of the storm rolling in. So, as you can see, Fort DeSoto is just an amazing place. There isn't a lack of picnic tables out there, guys. Even if you want to go out there for just a picnic, it's an amazing place. Once all this coronavirus stuff is over, it's a great opportunity to go out there with some close friends or family for a picnic or a barbecue. There's plenty of grills available and picnic pavilions. You do have to reserve them, especially during the busy season, but there's a ton of them out there. And then also there's just picnic tables everywhere, which you don't have to reserve. So you can go out there and probably find a place to picnic, no problem. Plenty of water views, plenty of places to launch kayaks or fish from shore. 2 fishing piers, one on the Gulf side and one on the Bay side. Bike trails galore, a humongous dog park, a dog beach where you can take your dog. There's a ton of stuff to do at Fort DeSoto. A bunch of playgrounds for little kids. I know my 11-year-old still loves playgrounds. Unfortunately, they were all closed, as you saw this time because of coronavirus, but that won't last forever. So by all means, if you're planning a trip to Fort DeSoto, do it. It's an awesome park, and check out our campsite review videos and the campsite amenity video in the description once I get those posted. So if you like what you saw, guys, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon that tells you when we release new videos, especially if you're interested in camping in Fort DeSoto, because like I said, we're going to release 183 campsite videos. Videos of each individual campsite that was unoccupied while we were there. So I've got a lot of work to do, so please stay patient with me. This isn't my full-time job, so it's kind of a labor of love. I only do it when I have time. So, but we'll get those posted, and drop in if you've been to Fort DeSoto before or you're planning a trip, drop that in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you've been there before and you've got tips for fellow outsiders, drop those in the comments as well. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Parlay. We're everywhere on social media, and our whole goal is to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, and enjoying and learning about nature. So with that, we'll see you next time on Camp Outside. Thanks for watching.